Hey, what's going on? Just wanted to do a quick vlog. It is March 13th, Friday the 13th, 2020, and I'm pretty sure you might call this the apocalypse is among us right now. It's looming over us. This coronavirus has triggered a massive shutdown of I don't know if it's the whole world or if it's just here in Manhattan, but everybody canceled pretty much every plan that they had. Got canceled. Any kind of movement that was going on has been canceled. Anything with the crowd has been canceled. So yeah, it's just looking like the whole economy has been canceled right now, um, and it has only been about 2 3 days since this whole since they really canceled the NBA this week. That was when you knew stuff was getting real. It's hard to tell. I know people are still optimistic about this situation. That in a month or two, everything they'll find a cure for coronavirus, and then we can just get back, in the swing of things. I think this is going to have a ripple effect that lasts probably several years. I know it's a lot saying that, but. I don't know how because right now people are not going to be able to pay their bills. A lot of people are working from home. They're going to be bailing out almost every industry you can name, and it's just hard to tell what kind of impact this is going to have. But it's looking pretty bad, and it's looking like it's right now, the uncertainty is extremely high. I mean, it feels like, what am I going to work for right now? What am I doing right now? It just feels like the whole country's on national holiday now. I'm here in work still asking people if anybody's moving or if they're selling anything or right now it's still the investors are still looking to buy. So I mean, to me, the investors are still they still have hope for the future, and they're still willing to spend cash right now, even at these high prices, despite the collapsing asset prices across the board. So everybody thinks that well, real estate's not going anywhere, and I'm picking up real estate no matter what financial conditions are happening. Meanwhile, the sellers are also thinking, they're not moving any. They're still thinking that they're sitting on, that their assets are still worth millions of dollars. So they haven't. The full impact of this bubble popping right now. The coronavirus is just the pin. Don't get distracted by that. The debt bubble has been pricked, and I'm not sure. That's why, it's hard to tell right now whether this shutdown of all this stuff is, simply because of coronavirus, which I mean, obviously it is, but the implosion that is going on in the markets, I think, is a little bit more serious even than coronavirus. And then, we have the Fed coming in and they're doing all kinds of fiscal stimulus. There's going to be some kind of tax cuts, or maybe they'll just send money out to people. Who knows what's going to happen? These are all ideas that they're talking about. It's really a question of what the government can actually do to help in this situation, besides just give everybody some time. But I assure you, if they said we're not going to spend all this money, we're not going to help backstop you and bail everybody out and all this stuff, I'm pretty sure that the economy would be done like that. So the only reason that we're even staying afloat right now is because they're planning to print a lot of money. They're planning to, help with these tax cuts, everybody's getting a bailout, the whole economy, everything. That's the only reason, because the question is whether or not that's actually going to work. It worked in 2008, so they're going to try it again, and they're going to do it bigger and better than ever, to help try and postpone this or make it as least recessionary as possible. But let's see if that actually works. I doubt it, but I am pessimistic. I think this is going to be a horror shit show, a Armageddon kind of for a couple years. I mean, just because of the amount of regulation that is in the United States, it causes a lot of friction. So when there is a recession, coming back up, say they pass a minimum wage of $15 like they did here in New York, right? Now, say there's a recession, maybe prices go down, asset prices go down, right? But say a lot of jobs are lost. So now, when all these jobs are lost, this is really where the minimum wage, I guess, comes into play. Is the new company has to ask, can I afford to pay someone at this higher minimum wage? That that minimum wage was set when we were in a bubble. Now there might be a whole new wage that might be lower than that, that people might be willing to work for, that they can't get paid. So there's a lot of barriers to that kind of cause a lot of friction when these things happen. And actually, right now there's still pending Supreme Court rulings regarding the new real estate legislation that they've been passing in New York. So hopefully they find that unconstitutional. Hopefully they declare all that unconstitutional. But it's funny how they're passing all these things in a boom. Stop the prices from going up. Control everything and save the tenant, and just so they can get reelected just in time for the whole shit to crash and for none of that shit to matter at all. You know what I mean? For none of anything that they did to even matter. Now all that like at this point. The economy is jumbling up. The economy is all jumbled up right now. There's a sell-off in everything. Gold is selling off. Silver is selling off. Not to the extent that Bitcoin and stocks are selling off. I mean, obviously, this whole thing was triggered earlier this week by oil selling off. So commodities are selling off along with everything else. I see the dollar is pushing up a little bit this week. Despite having, I think, a bad last week where it really was crashing hard. This week there was a complete rebound, about maybe 50-60% of the losses. It's almost at the highs that it was. So that's kind of interesting, how that's going. But I know real estate's getting hit. I heard home builders are getting hit. It looks like lumber is losing value, so there's going to be less demand for lumber, home building, probably going forward. I'm sure that they thought, we're going to be building, we got plans, developers, making plans, taking out permits and stuff, and just like that, in 2 days, looks like the shit is just done. You know what I mean? Just 1-2 days, like done. Everybody's plans are getting pushed back because there's not going to be. Nobody can make any money, I guess, and everybody's canceling all their plans. So this is about to be like scary. Like, I am definitely worried right now. So I'm stacking up my gold and silver, and I'm watching to see very closely what the government is doing right now. Whatever they're doing is going to be bad, but they're gonna try their hardest. I'm gonna stick around here until it looks like it's just a bleak outlook, and who knows how long this is gonna last. That's really the thing nobody knows right now, is how long is this nonsense gonna last. until like, and really I joke about it with my friends, like I'm 50-50 chance I have the coronavirus right now. And, sometimes my nose is a little runny, or, you're paranoid. Everybody's paranoid right now. I mean, and if you've gone on the subway, like you just feel disgusting. Do not, you got to have the mask, you got to have the gloves. I mean, and I didn't have none of that. Nobody really has any of it. You know what I mean? I'm just expecting to get sick, and have some mild symptoms or whatever. See, I'm touching my face. I'm not supposed to be doing that and everything. But, the symptoms are supposedly mild. So I'm guessing everybody's just going to get it. It's just this very, contagious flu that's going around. And everybody's going to get it. And then everybody's going to go back to work, I think, if their, jobs are still there and everything. But in the meantime, and I think that's, see, I don't know if those jobs are still going to be there. You know what I mean? I really don't. Nobody knows what's going to happen, but I think that people are just like, yeah, we'll just wait this out for a couple weeks, and work from home. It's great. It's like a holiday and shit. I really hope that that's the case. I really hope that that's the case. Oh, yeah, holiday, nice. Yeah, everything great, nice. Yeah, because if that's not the case, if your job ain't, if they tell you, oh, yeah, go home on vacation for a couple days, coronavirus, work from home, whatever, and then they call, everybody gets chopped. Which, I mean, look, unemployment was still very low this week. It's Friday today. Unemployment numbers came out yesterday. It was only 200,000 unemployment claims that came out, which is like very low. I'm looking to see, week by week, we'll see. But I'm guessing next week is going to be a jump. I mean, I haven't heard about any layoffs happening seriously yet, but I'm watching unemployment and layoffs extremely closely right now to see. If they start jumping up, then that's a sign that, this is not just, stay at home for a couple days. This is your, sorry, boss, like, you're gone, like, and we can't pay, we can't afford to keep you on. So, you can't afford to keep them on. Layoffs start coming, then how you pay your rent, you know what I mean? It's coming back down to rent. So I'm getting a lot of cancellations already. People canceling their moving plans, people pushing back their moving plans. I'm telling you, everything just in one day, I just woke up and everything was shut down. And if you live in another country, you felt that way. If you live in the New York area, maybe you felt that way. But it was just one day, it wasn't here. We heard about it, trickle here, trickle here, trickle here. It was getting closer, and then one day, just boom. I woke up, and it just felt like. I think that's when the Dow was down like 2,000 points, and it was just, and the uncertainty went from zero, like everybody was so certain about the future, and they could see the future, and then the uncertainty just went to the high, extremely high. So. Yeah, that's pretty much what's going on. Bleak outlook right now for the real estate market. If I were you, as an investor, I would stay on the sidelines maybe right now, because I still don't feel like the sellers have really had that motivation under their ass. Like they don't feel like they're backs up against the wall, like this is the final hour, and it probably is. You know what I mean? If you want to get out of get out of whatever deal you got going on, now's the time to do it. It was probably time to do it, already like 2 years ago, last year. But if you still have something right now and you want to sell it, now's a great time to sell it. You might not get what you want for it, but it's better than 70-80% losses. You know what I mean? If you bought it high. If you bought it in 2015, 2016, like, yeah, you probably bought it at the highs. You're probably going to take a loss on it. Everybody expects real estate to be going up 10% every year, 12, 15%, 20% every year. They want it appreciating. You know what I mean? They don't expect to get in and out with a loss. But when you're an investor, that's what happens. And when you're an investor in real estate, that's a big ticket item. It's very expensive. There's about to be a crazy amount of defaults, crazy amount of bankruptcies, a crazy amount of what do they call it? Foreclosures. Half of Brooklyn, I know, took out construction loans just to renovate their apartment because they're going to be getting $3,000 a month. That's their retirement and everything, all that. I mean and they took out equity from that house and everything, and if that rent isn't coming in, or if that rent stops for a month, I mean they're in foreclosure. You know what I mean? Some of them are in foreclosure now. So I mean, this is it. If there was any other time, like, let me tell you, like, you could tell Trump, the way he's talking right now, he looks upset. He looks worried, and he never shares a doubt. It's the best economy. We're going to the moon, forever. Buy stocks now. You won't regret it. You know what I mean? And he doesn't seem as optimistic. He seems defeated. He seems defeated. He's worried about Joe Biden. He's worried about this economy. He's worried if he's going to get a second term. He's worried if the whole shit just doesn't implode, like on his watch, and it is. I could just, maybe that's just my opinion of how he looks, but the Fed has already come in this week, and they did their, quantitative easing, asset purchases, whatever they're doing. So they're doing whatever they could possibly do, whatever emergency measures they're taking. They are taking this extremely seriously right now, and the only saving grace is that they can keep saying as well, the whole world is in the same pot with us, and we're all cooking here, and yada yada. But at the end of the day, is the United States going to come out of this unscathed? It's hard to say yes to that question when we have the most debt. You know what I mean? We're the most leveraged up. We've been pumping it under Trump. Trump's been tweeting up a storm. For 3 years now, 4 years. Like, we're at the highs. Where we were in crazy. We were crazy bubble territory and everything like that. And it's hard to see us coming out of this unscathed. A lot of people were depending on the stock market was the last claim to fame. That leg is falling out from under us, and now we got the unemployment is the last leg. The unemployment is like maybe maybe it's GDP or something like that. To me, it's looking like the unemployment. Once you see that tick up, I don't know. I don't know how good that's looking. So anyway, that's what's going on over here. Not a lot going on. Is the final is the is the moral of this story. There's not a lot of movement going. Everything is suspended. It's horrible. It's So I wish all of you the best. Stay healthy. Don't worry about this little stupid flu. Unless you're like 80 or you have some kind of health problems, I think everything is fine. I think the real worry, which people have not come to see yet, is going to be the catastrophic nightmare that the snowball that this economy is about to become, downhill snowball, avalanche that is about to occur from this coronavirus. So prepare yourself. Like everybody says, prepare yourself as best you can. Hunker down, get some food and toilet paper and stuff, and whatever nice beer I was gonna say you like, or wine, and just sit back and enjoy the show, because nobody was prepared for this. Nobody was prepared at all for this, and people are still not preparing for it. They still think it's getting some people texting me back. All right. Thank you for your time, and talk soon.